Welcome everybody. I am with Eric once again to do another movie block video. This one is focused on the Gollum deck. So we're about to see, I think this is Ninja Gollum, so this is kind of a very fun deck meta. So I'll let Eric kind of walk us through, but we're wrapping up our series. I think we have a few cultures left. It's been quite a few videos, so this has been fun to do. And also, I just want to shout out at the front end, Eric has a new channel you guys should check out. What exactly is the handle?
I'll also the handle is Library of Orthonc, LOTRTCG.
Okay. So yeah, I'll include that in the notes, but you guys should definitely check that out, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. There's a lot of content going up over there. So more resources for this game as people continue to return to it, it's to play and collect. So take it away, Eric.
Yeah, really appreciate doing this series with you, Matt. And so today we have one of my favorite shadow sides in movie block, and that is Ninja Gollum. So when I first saw this deck, probably as like many newer players, it's like, you look at it and you're like, what is this deck really trying to do? It looks like it has way too few of minions and way too many conditions, but it really synergizes well. And that's kind of the concept of, turning a weak creature like Gollum into a literal ninja. So the strategy revolves obviously around Gollum. And so he's one of your main characters. And so we run two different Gollums in here situationally, depending on what makes the most sense for what we're doing at the time. And so the first one is the Mad Thing. His ability is when the Free People's player assigns him to a skirmish, they have to either take a burden or make him strength +3. So this is a good one to start out with early in the game. And basically, he starts hitting at 8 right away because usually your opponent doesn't want to add burdens. If they do, great. But if not, you get to start basically with a base power of 8. And Gollum's actually going to win skirmishes in this deck, obviously, is the goal. And then if and when they do start adding burdens, that's when you bring out the Gollum Stinker, because his effect is he's strength +1 for each burden. So once they get up to 3 burdens, he's going to be your go-to guy. You're going to stop using this one anymore and just use this one, because his effect is strength +1 for each burden, and he has the added bonus of when he wins a skirmish, you add another burden. So you can really, get him going and keep pumping up his power every time he wins a skirmish. So that's the two Gollums that we do run. And then the other supporting minions that we run is the big one here is Shelob, her Ladyship. We run 3 of those. And the effect here with Shelob, if you don't know, is when you play him, if you spot Gollum, you can choose a companion that cannot be assigned to skirmishes until the end of turn. So that includes regular skirmishes and fierce skirmishes. So typically you're going to drop Shelob down and just pick their best character and just say, you cannot skirmish with your best character. So that's huge. The other thing with this card that's huge, of course, is it is the Gollum culture. So anything that references Gollum culture does also apply to Shelob. Then the other minions, are probably not surprising. You just got a couple Desert Lords in here for wounds. And you've got a couple Enqueas in here for wounds, but really obviously Fellowship control, just stopping your opponent from going big. That's obviously a huge staple. So really, it's the 2 Gollums and then the 7 other minions, and that's it. That's all you're playing for actual minions. So pretty light, as I said. Then the next package that I'm going to show you is your Recursion package. Obviously, because you're light on minions, you're going to be playing a ton of Recursion. So the first key one there is the Evil Smelling Fens. What this does is if you have Gollum, you can exert him twice to play any minion from your discard pile. These are one-time use. You do have to discard them after use, but they basically will allow you to recycle any minion. So those Enqueas, Shelobs, Desert Lords, that's what you use to get them back. Then this is hugely key for Gollum. This is what makes him fierce. That should be later on in the deck. That's in the pumping up Gollum part. So this is the Gollum Recursion part. We've got Captured by the Ring, as well as We Must Have It. These are both cards that just play Gollum from your deck or discard pile. So you always make sure you have a Gollum and always make sure you have the right Gollum with, kind of 7 copies of this. The nice thing with We Must Have It, why we go the full play set on those, is that does double as a pump for Gollum. It has the ability, discard a card at random from your hand to make Gollum strength +3. So that's nice as a pump as well as a Gollum recursion. And then Captured by the Ring, most everyone knows that's just the straight recur Gollum, add a threat. Then the last part of the recursion package is the web. Web is just a condition that allows you to recur Gollum, but also, as I mentioned, it's any Gollum minion. So you can also use Shelob on the web, obviously, which makes a lot of sense from a flavor standpoint. So that's huge to recur your Shelobs and Gollums. So yeah, now moving on to the final phase of the deck here, which is the part which really is about making Gollum a ninja. So the first part was the minions, the second part was recursion, and then the third part is turning Gollum into a ninja. And that's where the Hidden from Her was supposed to be with the other copies of it. So we run a full 3 copies of it, which is making Gollum fierce. That's just huge because it gets Gollum into as many skirmishes as possible. And that's the goal here, is to keep getting Gollum into skirmishes. Then the next one here, also very huge for you, is the They Stole It. And this is the one that you are allowed to discard 3 cards from your hand to wound a companion Gollum is skirmishing. So that just is huge. Anytime Gollum's skirmishing an exhausted companion, you just dump what's in your hand and kill him. And that's really the main point of this. Then this is, I'd say, probably the best key card in the deck, and that's Promise Keeping. When you first look at this card, you're like, dang, this costs 4 Twilight and is unique. But you know, there's a reason for that, is because of how good it is. And so essentially what we have is a full, well, no, we don't have full play set. We got 3 of these. And what it does is each time a companion takes a wound during a skirmish involving a Gollum minion, exert that companion. So there's really 2 important things to note about this card. One is that it's any Gollum minion. So this again does apply to Shelob. The second thing to note is it says each time a companion takes a wound during a skirmish. It doesn't say each time Gollum wins a skirmish. It just requires a companion to take a wound. So if you're playing They Stole It and using its ability to wound a companion, that will also give you an exertion off of Promise Keeping, because that was a companion took a wound during a skirmish. So if you do, even in a single skirmish, They Stole It plus Promise Keeping, you're getting 2 wounds, excuse me, you're getting 2 exertions. You're getting 1 for winning the skirmish, 1 for, 2 for, you get your normal wound for winning the skirmish, you get your wound for discarding off of They Stole It, and then you get 2 exertions off of Promise Keeping. So you're getting 4 wounds for that single skirmish. And obviously the exertions you can place on the same companion you're skirmishing, or you can place them elsewhere as well to exhaust other people. So it's just a fantastic card. If you've not ever played against this, you know, watch out for this. And if you can kill a condition, this is the condition you want to kill. The last ones then are just total miscellaneous. Fat One Wants It, adds a threat every time you play Gollum. Final Strike lets you cancel archery abilities. And Unabated and Malice gives damage +1 if you have initiative, as well as it acts as a one-time discard pump. So that is the Ninja package. So that's the deck. Like I said, it's really fun. This one I would say is more of a skillful deck to play. You definitely want to know what all your conditions do and really take advantage of them, because you're going to have just a totally loaded up support area, and you really want to take advantage of that. So.
Are there any sort of good fellowship packages to run with this, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say the only thing that you really can't run with this is a fellowship package that discards too many cards and cycles too quickly, because this will cycle very well, because you're going to want to be able to use that They Stole It. And every time you use it, you're discarding 3 cards. So I would say that a fellowship that doesn't discard too many cards, you're going to run out of cards, or else you'll have to build your deck bigger, which I'm not a big fan of. And then also, because of the cycling and the discarding, a fellowship that has multiple copies of its key cards is a good one to pair this with, as opposed to a fellowship where you only have a one of every single card. Well, that makes it hard to say, hey, I'm just going to discard 3 cards, which are probably fellowship, and they were maybe a key card. Definitely something like Elves and Men or something like that, where you're running like multiple redundancy of every single card. It doesn't hurt you to discard your doubles. So I'd say that would be a good deck or type of deck to combo it with.
Cool. Well, thanks for the deck preview there. I guess I will note, just a quick plug here, if you're interested in playing in Lord of the Rings competitively, there's actually Worlds coming up in October. We're going to have a video about that a little bit later in the year, kind of talking about the event and some opportunities to get engaged. Eric, are you going to be playing in it?
I'm not actually. I'm not a GEMP player yet myself. I've had a lot of people tell me I should, but I'm still so much into the paper game that if we ever get live events going, that'll be wonderful. And I do know some people over in the Czech Republic, I think, are like the largest in-person community, and that's really cool to see. But there's not in the US, there's not really, as far as I know, a huge play group of paper players.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just sort of local play groups that are pretty small. Well, thanks for sharing that deck. We'll have the list in the video description here of everything. It's been fun as always, and we'll catch everybody next time.